जायम् उदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः।
Mataji, may I, Hare Krishna, Mataji, may I start?
Yes, Mataji, I'll just share. Is this visible to everybody?
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
Yeah. Yes, Momita Mataji, you can recite.
Okay, Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadya Yasya Yatonvayat Itaratas Charte Svabhikya Swarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaya Muhyanti Yat Suryaha Tejo Varimridam Yatha Vinamayo Yatra Trisargo Mrsha Dhamna Sevana Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Mahi.
Just one minute. Yes, Mataji, next.
Dharma.
Okay.
Dharma Proj Jita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam Vedyam Vastavamatra Vastu Shivadam Tapatrayon Mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim Vaparere Ishvaraha Sadyo Hridayava Varudhyatetra Kritibihi Shushrushuvistakshana. Nigma kalpatarurgalitam phalam Shukhamukhad Amrita Drava Samyutam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamala Yam Maho Raho Rashika Bhuvi Bhavukaha. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Nice try, Mataji. Nice try.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was a good try. Little bit there touch is required, which over a period of practice will happen. Yeah.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Sitarani Mataji, correct?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah. Very nice try. Little. I think you can hear to some
Yes.
good reciter, no? Just like Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. If you can
Yes,
search,
Mataji.
he sings in a very clear. His pronunciation is very clear.
Crisp.
It's very easy to remember also if you say the shlokas along with him. So
Yes,
maybe
Mataji.
sometimes you can try that also. To recite
Okay,
along with the reciter, like that.
Okay,
Nice.
Mataji. Thank you.
Okay, so should we start now?
Yes, Mataji. Over to you.
Yeah, today's session. Yeah, Mataji, is it recorded or live or what? Yeah, it is there. Okay, fine. Okay, spotlight for everyone. So today's session, we have going to read and try to understand shlokas from the second chapter, shloka number 25 to 29. So just before this, we have seen that in the first chapter, the different sages, Shaunakadi Rishi, are asking 6 different questions to Suta Goswami. And now from the second chapter, Suta Goswami has started answering one by one questions. Okay. So in the previous shloka, previous 2 shlokas, Suta Goswami had actually, I'll just show you just a previous shloka to this today's sloka before this. So in that, Suta Goswami is now telling about the characteristics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he tells how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is, I'll just actually start from 23, just to go through what we are going through. So he says that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is indirectly associated with the 3 modes of material nature. So he takes the form of Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, which are the god of this Brahmaji represents mode of passion. He's the head of mode of passion. Vishnu represents mode of goodness, and Shivji represents mode of ignorance. And then that is what we have already, you must have seen yesterday. And after that, he tells that he gives the example of the fire, the smoke coming out of the fire and all. So he says firewood is transformation of earth, but smoke is better than raw wood. Better than wood is smoke, and still better for by fire we can derive the benefits of superior knowledge. Yeah. So similarly, passion is better than ignorance, but goodness is better than passion also. Like that he has told. Now let us see what he tells next. So let us go through the shlokas for today. So we will start from 1.2.25. Somebody wants to read it. I will ask one person to read the shloka. One devotee can read the translation, and one devotee can read the purport. We'll go it like that. Yes. So I think Sindhu Mataji has raised the hand. Mataji, you are going to read on your own, or you want to repeat it after me?
Mataji, I can read, Mataji.
Okay. Yes, please go ahead, Mataji.
Okay, Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sloka 1.2.25. Bhejire munayotyagre Bhagavantam madokshajam Sattvam Vishudam Shemaya Kalpante Yenutaniha.
Hari. Nice, Mataji. Very nice.
Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Translation. Okay, Mataji, you read the translation, then maybe Krishnamurti Prabhuji will read the purport.
Sure, Mataji. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Previously, all the great sages rendered service unto the personality of Godhead due to his existence above the three modes of material nature. They worshipped him to become free from the material conditions and thus derived the ultimate benefit. Whoever follows such great authorities is also eligible for liberation from the material world. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, thank you so much, Mataji. So in the previous shloka, he told about giving an example. He tells how the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests himself into the three modes for better management of the material world which he has created. So he manifests himself into Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, like that. But then he says, though he has manifested into these three forms, but still the great sages who knew who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it's more somebody other than Brahmaji, somebody other than Vishnu, somebody other than Shiva. So who is that? Lord Sri Krishna. Okay, Vasudeva. So previously he says all great sages rendered service unto the personality of Godhead. Why? Because though he manifested into the three modes of material, he is still above the three modes. He is not affected at all by the three modes of material nature. So therefore, due to his existence above the three modes of material nature, and they worship for what did they worship? To become free from all the material conditions. What is the ultimate benefit? What is the ultimate aim of life? Okay, we all know, and that will still come ahead also. Yes, we are going to discuss that. What is the ultimate aim of life? To gain that ultimate benefit, to gain that ultimate aim of life, to achieve that aim, they worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, and whoever follows these great authorities. So we know, we learn from our teachers, is it not? When we go to school, when we were going to school, what we did? We followed our teachers. What they said, we know, okay, 2 plus 2 is 4, then we memorize 2 plus 2 is 4. So whatever they taught, we just followed them, right? Tables, 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. We just followed what they taught us. So similarly, now it is our duty to follow these great sages because we know that they are doing something correct. And whoever is correct, we just need to follow them with complete faith. And then Sutta Goswami says that whoever follows these great authorities, they are eligible for liberation from this material bondage. What is the material bondage? Janma, Mrityu, Jaravadi. From the cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death. Who can take us out? The Supreme Personality of God. And that is why we should worship him. That is the ultimate summary of this particular shloka. Let us see what the purport says, and then we'll discuss something more. Prabhuji, please read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji.
Dandavath.
Purport by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. The purpose of performing religion is neither to profit by material gain, nor to get the simple knowledge of discerning matter from spirit. The ultimate aim of religious performances is to release oneself from the material bondage and regain the life of freedom in the transcendental world. Where the personality of Godhead is the supreme person, laws of religion, therefore, are directly enacted by the personality of Godhead, and except for the Mahajanas, are the authorized agents of the Lord. No one knows the purpose of religion. There are 12 particular agents of the Lord who know the purpose of religion, and all of them render transcendental service unto him. Persons who desire their own good may follow these Mahajans and thus attain the supreme benefit. Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranams Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So yes, they say, Prabhupada is explaining us that only these Mahajanas, the 12 Mahajanas, they have understood the real purpose of life. They have understood how to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They have understood what is the real meaning of bhakti. And therefore, we should follow those 12 Mahajanas. Okay. So, we'll go for that shloka also. If by that time, if somebody knows the shloka about the 12 Mahajanas, you can tell me where all the names of all the 12 Mahajanas come and who has recited that shloka, who has told that shloka to whom. If somebody can answer this question. Are you getting my question? Who are the 12 Mahajanas and who has told about these 12 Mahajanas in Srimad Bhagavatam? Mahajan means what? A person who has really understood the real essence of bhakti. Okay, who has really understood what is his duty towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so I'll just show you that shlokas. It will become very easy to understand that way. Yeah, this is the one.
Is it 6.3.2021?
It is 6.3.2021. Yes, Mataji. So this shloka says, can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah, it is Swayambhur Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manu Prallado Janako Bhishma Balirvaya Sakir Vayam. This is the 12 Mahajanas. Okay, let us go one by one shloka. So what is that Swayambhu? Swayambhu means who? Brahmaji. Narada means Narad Muni. Second one. Shambhu means Shivji. Kumara, the Chatush Kumaras. Kapil means what? Kapil Dev. Manu means Swayambhu Manu. Prallado, Prallad Maharaj. Janako, Janak Maharaj. Bhishmo, Bhishma Pitama. Bali Maharaj. Vaiyasaki means Shukadev Goswami. And Vayam means myself. So who is that myself? Who is saying this shloka? Who is saying? So you will be surprised to know if you are not knowing before.
Yamraj.
So Yamrajji, he is saying, I am amongst them. That means, see, Yamraj, which we feel that he is just a lot of penalizing, a lot of giving punishments. He actually is one of the great Mahajanas who is the great devotee of Lord Sri Krishna. And what does he say ahead of that? Dvadashaite vijanimu dharmam bhagavatam bhata guhyam vishuddham durbodham yam gnatva amrutam ashnute. So he says, my dear servants, he is talking to the Yamadutas. This comes in the pastimes of Ajamila. When the Yamadutas go to take Ajamila, but the Vishnu Dutas refrain them from taking him away, and then they come back to Yamaraj. And he says, why? What is the power of these Vishnu Dutas that they could resist us from doing our duty? That time, Yamarajji is telling the glories of the Supreme Lord. At that time, he is telling these two shlokas to the Yamadutas. Okay, so he says, my dear servants, this transcendental religious principle, which is known as Bhagavata Dharma. What is the actual Dharma? Bhagavad Dharma is our original Dharma. Or what does Bhagavad Dharma mean? Or surrender unto the Supreme Lord and love for him. That is the actual Bhagavad Dharma. Okay, what is the Bhagavad Dharma? If I highlight it, is it okay? Can you also see the highlight?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So Bhagavad Dharma, which is what? Surrendering unto the Supreme Lord and the love for him. He says it is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. When you love Sri Krishna, it is not affected by I am in the mode of passion, that is why I am loving Krishna. I am in the mode of Sattva Guna. Okay, I am very humble, that is why that love is manifesting in my heart. So it is out of all the three gunas. Okay. It is very confidential. This love is very confidential. It is just between you and Krishna. Nobody else can understand your emotions towards Krishna, and nobody can understand Krishna's reciprocation to you. For every individual being, between me and Krishna, my relationship is different. Between you and Krishna, your relationship is different. And it is very, very confidential. Okay, and difficult for ordinary human beings to understand. But if by chance one fortunately understands it, we don't understand this relationship, but if somebody understands, he is immediately liberated, and thus he returns home back to Godhead. So, and he says, we 12 people, we have understood this Bhagavad Dharma correctly, perfectly well. What is to love Krishna, what is to surrender to Krishna. We have understood it very well. And therefore he says, those who will follow our path, they will also be liberated. So similar thing in this, our current shloka also, he is saying the same only, that whoever follows these great sages, they will also be benefited. They will also get liberated. They will also go back to Godhead. That is what Suta Goswami is telling to Shaunakadi Rishis. So what does he say? He says, let us little bit study this shloka one by one word. Bhejire munoyo athagre. So what does bhejire means? What they render devotional service. When you say bhajire, so you are bhajan, you are taking the names, you are singing the glories of the Lord. And bhejire means what? You are performing service unto the Lord. Okay, so these great munis, these great devotees of the Lord, whom do they surrender? Whom do they do the devotional service? Bhagavantam adhokshajam. So who is Bhagavantam? Bhagwan, Lord Sri Krishna or Vasudev, because the name Vasudev is again going to come ahead. Okay, and how is he? Adhokshajam. Akshaja means vision. What we can perceive with our senses is akshaja. That means with our eyes, with our limited sense of seeing, we can see up to a certain distance. There are many things which we cannot see. Somebody says, many people say that if God exists, why doesn't he appear in front of me? Why can I not see him? मैं तभी विश्वास रखूंगा जब मैं भगवान को देखूंगा, है ना? I will only believe in God when I will see him with my own eyes. So for believing God, he should appear in front of me. Then only I will believe. But we can't even see the air around us. So does air exist or not? It still exists. So you cannot question the existence of God only based on your incomplete senses. Our senses are very incomplete, right? So akshaja means what we can perceive with our senses, what we can see, what we can hear, what we can smell, what we can touch, and all those things. But adhokshaja means what? Beyond our perception. What cannot be seen, what cannot be heard, what cannot be smelt by our incomplete, improper senses. So therefore, Bhagwan, Sri Krishna is adhokshajam. And how is he? Sattva Vishuddham. He is not in any guna. He is apart from all. Vishuddha Sattva. That means what? He is above all the three modes of material nature. And then he says, Kshemaya. Why do they worship him? These great munis, Munuyo Athagre. Why do they worship this? So, for Kshemaya. What is that Kshemaya? What the gate to get the ultimate benefit of their lifetime. What is that? And okay, so what is the ultimate benefit? Yes, to render service unto the Supreme Lord. Ultimately, to go back to Godhead. To go back to Godhead. And Kalpante yentu tan iha. In this Kali Yuga or after their existence, those who are going to follow these great sages, they can also derive the same benefit. That means they will also get liberated. They can also go back to Godhead. Okay. Now one more, before we go to the next shloka, one more general knowledge question. These are the 12 Mahajanas. Okay. Now I'm not going to ask you again the names of the 12 Mahajanas. There is one more person who is considered as the 13th Mahajana, whose name does not come in Bhagavatam, but our Acharyas describe that person as the 13th Mahajana. Who is that? Who has also understood the exact meaning of bhakti. Who is also a very pure devotee of the Lord. Does anybody know that? No? So it is?
Mata,
Yes. Yes, Ruji?
Chaitanya
Mate,
Mahaprabhu.
this
Sorry.
Srila Prabhupada's Guru
Mm.
Maharaj,
Bhakti Siddhanta
Bhakti
Saraswati.
Saraswati.
Okay, no, he is not somebody from the before scriptures.
Okay.
Sindhu Mataji, do you know? You have raised your hand.
No, Mataji, I just have a small clarification. For that I
Okay.
raised. Like
Okay.
this sloka you told, no, Mataji, Yamarajas are telling to Yamadutas, right? That is what you told. And you also told Shuta Goswami is talking to Shaunaka Rishi. That is which sloka, Mataji? That one, right? 20.
This one. In the first canto. Yamaraja's shloka comes in the sixth canto. I'm just giving the reference from there. Because it came in the this purport. That's why.
13th Mahajan, Mataji. Very twisty
Hare
question.
Krishna Mataji.
Yeah.
Brahma,
Vidura,
Shiva,
Vidura.
Narada,
No, not
Kumara,
Vidura.
Kapila, Vaivashrata, Manu, Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma, Bali, Shukadeva, Yama.
Okay, I'll reveal it because we don't have much time. Or you can take it as a homework and tell tomorrow. That is also okay. You can discuss in the group also. What should we do? Should I reveal it here? So it is Kunti Maharani. Kunti Maharani is considered as the 13th Mahajana because she has perfectly understood the devotion towards Lord Shri Krishna. Okay? Yeah, so let us go ahead. So,
There's one small clarification.
yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji, even though this Bhishma Pitamaha is a Mahajan, why he has accepted the inside of this adharma side he has stayed,
Because for him, what his vow was there, no? That I will always be on the side of this throne.
Okay.
He has vowed to protect the throne. So whoever is on the throne, he has to protect them. Like that. So he was, because his mind was not with Duryodhana. No, never was his mind with Duryodhana. He was only taking side of Duryodhana because of his whatever vow he had taken.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mataji has not spoke when Draupadi
Mataji, these are very deep topics, but today otherwise our Bhagavatam class will not be completed. But yes, we have the correct reasons told by our previous acharyas why this happened, why Bhishma Dev did not speak and all. But let us not discuss it here because our session will be very long, prolonged session ho jayega. Is it okay, Mataji?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, let us go to the next shloka. Who wants to read? Deval Mataji, you are reading? You can read the shloka and translation. And somebody for purport also we need. Who is there for purport? Please raise your hand by that time. Divya Mataji. Okay. Deval Mataji, please read.
Shantaji, Hare Krishna. Mumukshavo ghora rupan hitva bhutapatinath narayana kala shanta bhajanti ya anasuyavaha. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Those who are serious about liberation are certainly non-envious and they respect all. Yet they reject the horrible and ghastly forms of the demigods and worship only the all blissful forms of Lord Vishnu and his plenary portions. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay,
Purport,
so
purport
thank you, Mataji. Purport, I will take it after a break. Small, I need to speak something, then we can read, Mataji. So here, Suta Goswami is telling, because in the previous shloka he told that the great sages, the munis, they worship the supreme personality of Godhead. Now the question may arise, then what about the demigods? Yeah, that is why he's clarifying here. So why only to the Supreme Lord? Why not to the demigods? That is why he's telling, because those who are serious about liberation, who can award you liberation? Only the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so what the demigods can award? The demigods can always what they give rewards very easily. Okay, the demigods get pacified very easily. You can worship the demigods if you have any desires. Yeah, in the Bhagavatam also it comes in some shloka, I don't remember the shloka, where a long list of names of demigods is given. And if you desire to have wealth, please worship this demigod. If you don't have a son, if you want a son, okay, if you want a beautiful wife, go to this particular demigod. And so such a long list is given. But all these benefits, all these benedictions awarded by the demigods are all temporary, because they will be awarded to you in this life. Okay, if you want wealth, you want to become wealthy, you worship Kubera. Kubera will give you a lot of wealth. But after your death, can you carry this wealth to the next Janma, next life? You cannot carry. That is all material. That will last only in this particular birth, only this life. Next birth, you'll again start from zero. You again have to take birth. You have to again suffer those things. You have to do the education, do your job or a business or something, and then gather money, and then something will happen like that. Okay, so whatever is awarded by the demigods, that is all temporary. Who can give you permanent benefit? It is only the Supreme Personality of God. Therefore, he is saying those who are serious about liberation are certainly non-envious. They don't envy anybody. They do not distinguish between this and that. I am a devotee or not a devotee. They are never envious, and they respect all also. Yet they reject the horrible, means they are not envious of the demigods. They don't say, I will not worship this demigod. Oh, iska kya hai? He is not a correct demigod. He will not speak anything about it. But he is not very much inclined towards the demigod worship. So he is not, yet he rejects the horrible and ghastly forms of the demigods and worship only the all blissful forms of Lord Vishnu and his plenary portions. Okay, now in the next shloka again it comes, what do you mean by these plenary portions, how they are different from the demigods. Okay, so we'll go in that shloka also. Let us read the purport. Mataji, you can read just the first two stanzas, then it's some more description is given, but because of time limit we'll just read the first two stanzas. Please read, Mataji.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who is the original person of the Vishnu categories, expands himself in two different categories, namely integrated plenary portions and separated parts and parcels. The separated parts and parcels are the servitors, and the integrated plenary portion of Vishnu Tattvas are the worshipful objects of service. All demigods who are empowered by the Supreme Lord are also separated parts and parcels. They do not belong to the categories of Vishnu Tattva. The Vishnu Tattvas are living beings equally as powerful as the original forms of the personality of Godhead, and they display different categories of powers in consideration of different times and circumstances. The separated parts and parcels are powerful by limitations. They do not have unlimited powers like the Vishnu Tattvas. Therefore, one should never classify the Vishnu Tattvas or the plenary portions of Narayana, the personality of Godhead, in the same category with the parts and parcels. If anyone does so, he becomes at once an offender by the name Pasandi. In the age of Kali, many foolish persons commit such unlawful offenses and equalize the two categories. Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams.
Thank you, Mataji. Because people will say, हाँ हम तो कृष्णा की भी भक्ति करते हैं, हम लोग गणपति की भी वर्शिप करते हैं, हम लोग दुर्गा देवी की भी वर्शिप करते हैं, हम सब भगवान को सेम मानते, कोई ऊंचा नीचा नहीं है, सब भगवान एक ही जैसे. So Prabhupada tells such people are Pashandi. They are fools. They are fooling themselves as well as they are trying to fool other people also, because they don't know the truth. The truth is that, the highest, the person who is at the highest level is the Supreme Personality of God. And from him comes the different plenary portions and portions of the plenary portions and parts of the plenary portions. And from them comes all the demigods. And the demigods are considered as the different body parts of Lord Vishnu. And then how they act in this particular world. Where do they stay? Do they stay in the Goloka? No, they don't stay in Goloka. The demigods stay in only the Svargaloka. Or they have their own lokas. They have their own places of residence, but they cannot reach to the Goloka. So this is all description given in the Bhagavatam itself. Okay. So that is why he is saying those who say like this, that all the gods and demigods are on the same level, they are actually Pashandi. That is what Prabhupada is saying. Okay, so you should never compare the Vishnu Tattvas with the demigods. Okay, let us go ahead to the next shloka. Okay, 27th, one person to read shloka and translation and one for purport.
Shall I recite, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Who is that? I cannot see your name.
Dhanashri.
Dhanashri Mataji. Please read the shloka and translation. And who is going to recite? Archana Mataji. You can recite the purport. Momita Mataji, you can recite the next shloka.
Hare Krishna. Rajastamaha prakrutayah samachila bhajanti vai pitru bhuta prashedani
प्रदेशादि
श्रेयैश्वर्य प्रजेप्सवः. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance worship the forefathers, other living beings and the demigods who are in charge of cosmic activities, for they are urged by a desire to be materially benefited with women, wealth, power, and progeny. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. There is no need to worship demigods of whatsoever category if one is serious about going back to Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita 7.20-23, it is clearly said that those who are mad after material enjoyment approach the different demigods for temporary benefits, which are meant for men with poor fund of knowledge. We should never desire to increase the depth of material enjoyment. Material enjoyment should be accepted only up to the point of bare necessity of life and not more or less than that. To accept more material enjoyment means to bind oneself more and more to miseries of material existence. More wealth, more women, and false aristocracy are some of the demands of the worship some of the demands of the materially disposed man, because he has no information of the benefit derived from Vishnu worship. By Vishnu worship, one can derive benefit in this life as well as in the life after death. Forgetting these principles, foolish people who are after more wealth, more wife, more children, worship various demigods. The aim of life is to end miseries of life and not to increase them. For material enjoyment, there is no need to approach the demigods. The demigods are but servants of the Lord. As such, they are duty-bound to supply necessities of life in the form of water, air, light, etc. One should work hard and worship the Supreme Lord by the fruits of one's hard labor for existence, and that should be the motto of life. One should be careful to execute occupational service with faith in God in the proper way, and that will lead one gradually on the progressive march back to Godhead. Lord Sri Krishna, when he was personally present at Vrajadama, stopped the worship of demigods Indra and advised the residents of Vraja to worship by their business and to have faith in God. Worshipping the multi-demigods for material gain is practically perversity of religion. This sort of religious activity has been condemned in the very beginning of the Bhagavatam as Kaitava Dharma. There is only one religion in the world to be followed by one and all, and that is Bhagavata Dharma, or the religion which teaches one to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead and no one else. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Pranam.
So, Kaitava Dharma, Prabhupada says, one who is worshipping multiple gods is Kaitava Dharma. Monday ko I'm fasting for this god. Tuesday I'm fasting for this god. Today is Saturday, I'm fasting for Shani Dev. Today is Friday, I'm fasting for Durga Devi. So many things people are following, right? So you are not you are not following any particular devata also. Then how can you get the benefit, right? And Prabhupada says the demigods are just the servants of the Lord. So if you're worshipping the Lord, even for material benefits, you don't need to go to any demigods, right? Because it's like if you have some work in a government office, maybe municipal corporation, you go and you want to have some document, and you are approaching a clerk over there, and you say, I need such and such document from you. Clerk will say, okay, come tomorrow, come after 1 month, come after 3 months, or he'll demand for some money below the bench and say, okay, give me this much, I will do your work immediately. And he will you will be fed up with all those things, right? Or ultimately, after a long time, he will just give you also the papers. That is also possible. But if the head of that department or the head or the manager of that municipal corporation is your friend, or he is your very close relative, do you need to approach the clerk? You will just tell your friend or relative that I need such and such document. He will tell the clerk, abhi ye nikal ke do. And immediately that person has to take out those papers and give it to you. It's less like that. If you're already worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right, then your work will be done. Whatever material benefits are there, those also will be satisfied by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You don't need to worship the demigods separately. But does this mean that we should worship the Lord for material benefits? Yeah, jo bhi wo head of the department hai, are you keeping relationship with him only to get one paper from that office? फिर उसके बाद तू तेरा मैं मेरा ऐसा है क्या? Is it like that? No. That relative is always there. You have, whether you have work in that office or you don't have, your relation with that head of the department is not dependent on some work you have to be done through in that office. Your relation always exists. So that's how our relation with the Supreme Lord should always exist. Without regards whether we want to have some material benefit or not. First of all, we should not desire for material benefits, because material benefits will again make us get entangled into the material world. Okay, and therefore he says there is no need to worship demigods of whatsoever category if one is serious about going back to God. Right? So in the Bhagavad Gita it is said now, 7.820, that what is this? Kama estes ritatjnana prapadyantenya devata. Okay, so different people approach different demigods if they desire different things. That is not required. That is not required to be done. It is just Lord Sri Krishna, with whom we should have our relationship, with whom we should build our love, we should feel our love, and that is sufficient. Okay, let us go to the last shloka. These are two shlokas combined, 28 and 29. Very beautiful shlokas. Let us, three people, let us recite these things. So Momita Mataji, Sudha Mataji, and one more person can raise the hand for reciting. Okay. Yeah. Mataji, you want to repeat after me, or you'll recite on your own?
Mataji, I can try. If I
Okay.
do any mistake, then I can repeat after you.
Yeah, Mataji.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Makhaha. Mataji, is
Yeah, that is okay.
Okay.
This meter is also okay.
Okay. Vasudeva para yoga, Vasudeva para kriya, Vasudeva param jnanam, Vasudeva param tapah, Vasudeva paro dharmo, Vasudeva paragati. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you. Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Should I read the translation, Mataji?
No, you can. You want to recite the shloka once more?
Okay, okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramaka, Vasudeva Parayoga, Vasudeva Parakriya, Vasudeva Param Jnanam, Vasudeva Param Tapa, Vasudeva Parodharmo, Vasudeva Paragati.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Sindhu Mataji.
Mataji, I'm trying different tunes.
No problem. We are all learning different tunes here.
Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramaka, Vasudeva Parayoga, Vasudeva Parakriya, Vasudeva Param Jnanam, Vasudeva Param Tapa, Vasudeva Paro Dharmo, Vasudeva Paragati.
Hari bol. Please read the translation, Mataji.
Translation, there's Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the revealed scriptures, the ultimate object of knowledge is Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The purpose of performing sacrifice is to please him. Yoga is for realizing him. All fruitive activities are ultimately rewarded by him only. He is the supreme knowledge, and all severe austerities are performed to know him. Religion, dharma, is rendering loving service unto him. He is the supreme goal of life.
Yeah, Hari.
Hare Krishna. Purport?
No, Mataji, please wait for some time. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So yes, what does these two shlokas say? It's very important. Vasudeva para Veda. The ultimate knowledge which you get from the Vedas. What is the summary of all the Vedas? Vedanta. Anta. What is the Vedanta of, what's the end of all the Vedas? It is Vasudeva. To know Vasudeva. Vasudeva para Makhaha. What do you mean by Makha? Makha means sacrifices. Whatever sacrifices you perform, that is for the satisfaction of Vasudeva. Vasudeva para yoga. Whatever yogic activities you are doing, anima, lagima, or pranayam and all those things, or whatever is given in the 8th chapter, that is to please Lord Vasudeva. Vasudeva para kriya. Whatever karma you are doing, all the fruitive activities what you are doing, those are even rewarded. The benefits of those fruitive activities are rewarded by Vasudeva only. Okay, Vasudeva Param Jnanam. What is the ultimate knowledge? To know Vasudeva. All the jnana comes from Vasudeva himself. Vasudeva Param Tapaha. All the austerities that we perform, that is to please Lord Sri Krishna. Vasudeva Paro Dharmo. What is our ultimate dharma? Just in the previous shloka we saw what is Bhagavad Dharma? To love Lord Sri Krishna, to know Lord Sri Krishna, and to love him. And Vasudeva Paragatihi. What is the ultimate goal of life? To reach Golokadham, to reach Vrindavan Dham, to reach the transcendental platform, to leave this miserable world and go back to Godhead. That is our Paragatihi. So, whom are these two shlokas directed to? They are not directed to Vishnu. They are not directed to Narayana. They are only directed to Vasudeva. Who is Vasudeva? Son of Vasudeva is Vasudeva. That means directly. Sometimes, people ask many times it is all Vishnu written in the Bhagavatam. And Prabhupada translates it to Krishna. Right? That is true. Because ultimately, whatever benefits are rewarded by Vishnu, they all come through the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through Krishna only. And that here, so it is very specifically mentioned that who is that ultimate goal of life? To reach Vasudeva, to reach Krishna. Okay, let us read the purport little bit. Here in this purport is very big. So I have highlighted these portions. Can you see the bold font? Who is going to read the purport? Deval Mataji, you are going to read?
Okay, Mataji, yes.
Yeah, so can you see the bold font, Mataji?
No, Mataji.
Like establishing one's relationship this much.
Oh, yes, bold ones, yes,
Like
yes.
bold one. Only we are going to read that much. Now this is related to Vedas. Yes,
Okay.
please read, Mataji.
Just, yeah. So establishing one's relationship and ultimately reviving our lost loving service unto him. That is the sum of and substance of the Vedas.
So what is the sum? Yeah, Mataji, we'll go one by one. Okay, you can read after I speak again. Okay.
Sure.
So what is the sum and substance of all Vedas? Establishing our relationship with the Supreme Person. Okay. Once our relationship is established, then we are like tension free. But sometimes that relationship we forget also. It is already there, but we forget. Then in that time, we have to revive our lost loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. That is the ultimate summary. That is the ultimate goal of knowing, reading all the Vedas. Otherwise, Prabhupada always tells in so many lectures, he says, there are so many people writing commentaries about Bhagavad Gita. They have so much knowledge. They know I have read Samaveda, I have read Rig Veda, I have read this work, Yajurveda, and this, the surnames are also like that. What is that? Dvivedi, Trivedi, Chaturvedi. So they have read everything. They know everything. So they know Bhagavad Gita without Krishna. They know Samaved without Krishna. They know Rigved without Krishna. They know this Ved without Krishna. Everything they know, but there is no Krishna in them. In that, then what is the use of reading or gaining knowledge of so many Vedas if the ultimate aim of that, what does Krishna tell in Bhagavad Gita? Vedescha sarvair aham eva vedyah. So what is the purpose of reading Vedas? Is to know me. Who has created the Vedas? I have created the Vedas. For what? So that people can understand who am I. That is why the Vedas are created. Okay, but they forget this point and they read everything else. That is how they read. Yeah. Okay, let us read the next line. This another name.
Yeah, another name of Vasudeva is Yagna, sacrifice.
Yeah, and next paragraph also.
Yeah, yoga means to get into touch with the Supreme Lord. The process, however, includes several bodily features such as asana, dhyana, pranayama, and meditation. And all of them are meant for concentrating upon the localized aspect of Vasudeva, represented as Paramatma. Ill-fated yogis are given a chance in the next birth by being placed in the families of good learned brahmanas or in the families of rich merchants in order to execute the unfinished task of Vasudeva realization. If such fortunate brahmanas and sons of rich men properly utilize the chance, they can easily realize Vasudeva by good association with saintly persons. Unfortunately, such preferred persons are captivated again by material wealth and honor, and thus they practically forget the aim of life. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Yeah. So Vasudeva Para Yoga. So what is the ultimate yoga and yajna, both of them are mentioned here. So yeah, one of the names of Vasudeva is yajna also. Yeah, who is the yajna purush? Always who is the what you can say, who is the yajna purush, who should be given all the benefits of yajna? It is the Supreme Lord only. So we forget that. And also when we perform different yogas, many people, the yogis, they are meditating for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, actually thousands of years, in some lonely place. For what? For gaining some sort of specialization. Yeah, nowadays people do PhD, no? PhD in this, PhD in that. What for what? I have gained perfect knowledge in particular subject. But then what about the rest of the subjects? Nothing. Right? So some yogis will meditate, and they will be perfect in some yogic activity, just like anima and lagima. Anima means what? To become smaller than the atom also. That means they will get disappeared. They will perform some yoga activities, and then nobody will be able to see them. And they'll say, oh, success. What is the real meaning of yoga? Why you have to perform that yoga? The main aim is also lost in that. Just to perform some activity to get perfection in some activities they are performing. That is ultimately to gain some material benefit. Okay. So, but there are some yogis, in Ashtanga Yoga, in the 6th chapter, we study that there are some yogis who practice their yogic activities for years together to reach up to the Paramatma feature of the Lord. They concentrate on the Paramatma feature of the Lord. They don't actually concentrate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are concentrating on the Paramatma feature. And if at all they are not successful in this life, they get a better life in the next birth. What is that better life? Either they will take birth in the home of a very rich person. Why? So that they don't have to struggle in different things. No struggle for money at all. No tensions. They can just concentrate on their yogic process from there. Or they will get birth in a very good devotee family. So that they have, the environment is very positive for them to continue with their devotion. But then Prabhupada is saying here, the ill-fated yogis are given a chance in the next birth by being placed in the families of good learned brahmanas or in the families of rich merchants in order to execute their unfinished task. Okay. If such fortunate brahmanas properly utilize the chance, they can easily realize Vasudeva in that particular birth. But unfortunately, such preferred persons are captivated again by material wealth. So they are put into a rich family, they forget their devotion and they try to enjoy the money only. Yeah, they are put in a devotee family or a very intelligent family, they again forget the real aim of life and they utilize their time to gain more knowledge or karma kanda or something like that. And ultimately their purpose is lost again. So, but if some fortunate people take to the path of bhakti again from there, then in that life itself, they can just go and reach to Vasudeva, form of the Lord. Okay, that is about the yoga, yajna and yoga. Then next, read this, Mataji, in this paragraph.
Yeah. Tapasya means voluntary acceptance of
Before
bodily.
that,
Oh, sorry. Vasudeva is the ultimate aim in culturing all different branches of knowledge. Culture of knowledge leading one to the transcendental plane of meeting Vasudeva is real knowledge.
Yeah, what is the real knowledge? Ultimately, if it is taking you towards Krishna, then it is the real knowledge. Yeah, if you're gaining so much of knowledge, but you are facing your back towards Krishna, that knowledge is of no use. Okay, you gain knowledge, but turn your face towards Krishna so that you can utilize that knowledge to see Krishna. Yeah, that means along with knowledge, turning towards Krishna means what? That bhakti factor should come in. If there is no bhakti, just gaining knowledge, that means it is just like turning your back towards Krishna and moving ahead with that knowledge. That is of no use. Okay, so real knowledge means meeting Vasudeva. That means going towards Krishna. That is the meaning of going real knowledge. Yes, Tapasya Mataji.
Tapasya means voluntary acceptance of bodily pains to achieve some higher end of life. Ravana and Hiranyakashipu underwent a severe type of bodily torture to achieve the end of sense gratification. Sometimes modern politicians also undergo severe types of austerities to achieve some political end. This is not actually tapasya. One should accept voluntary bodily inconvenience for the sake of knowing Vasudeva, because that is the way of real austerities.
For us also, coming out of our comfort zone is very important. I cannot fast on Ekadashi. Why? No, it's very difficult to fast. Okay, I usually take my breakfast at this time. I need to have my lunch at this time, doper ka breakfast this time, evening dinner this time. That is my lifestyle. But to attain to the Supreme Lord, you need to come out of that comfort zone. That is austerity. That is tapasya. Right? Usual days we will chant 16 rounds. On Ekadashi days in the Kartik month, we try to do 32 rounds. We come out of that comfort zone. So everybody should try to do tapasya. Okay. Yes. One more last thing, Mataji.
No one should bother himself with fruitive activities or dry speculation about transcendental knowledge. Everyone should at once engage himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, nor should one worship different demigods who work as different hands of the Lord for creation, maintenance, or destruction of the material world.
Yeah, this is about the dharma. What is our ultimate dharma? To know the Supreme Personality, to serve the Supreme Personality, to love the Supreme Personality. That is our ultimate dharma. And for that, you should take efforts. Because we know, no, what does Brahmaji say in his Brahma Samhita? What is the first shloka? Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradi Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. Right? So he is Sarva Karana Karana. From him comes the entire existence. Yeah, he is only the person who maintains the entire world, and he is the one responsible for annihilation also. So he is Sarva Karana Karanam. So we know that the ultimate person who is doing all the activities. Yeah, if we know that, then what we will do? Our ultimate aim will be to please him. Is it not? And to please him, what we can do? Very, very beautiful shloka. Last thing, what I'm going to show it to you, the shloka of Ambarish Maharaj, because this body of ours is given by Krishna. This life given by Krishna. Human form of life, very rare, given by Krishna. So how we should utilize our life? To serve Krishna. In what way can we serve Krishna? We can use all our senses for that particular worship. Yeah, I don't know where I kept it. I'll just try. Yes. Can you see this?
Yes, Mataji.
Should I keep it in Sanskrit or in English? I will read it for you, and if somebody wants to repeat, they can repeat.
English.
Yeah, English, huh? Okay, I'll keep it here because it's very long. So Ambarish Maharaj, how he used to perform his all everyday activities. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor vachamsi vaikuntha gunanu varnane karo harer mandira marjanadishu shrutim chakara chuta satkathodaye mukunda lingalaya darshane drisho tadbhritya gatra sparshenga sangamam Dhranam cha tatpada saroja saurabhe Shrimat tulasya rasanam tadarpite Padau hare kshetra padanu sarpane Shiro rishikesha padabhivandane Kamam cha dasye natu kama kamyaya Yathottama shloka janashraya ratihi. Very beautiful shloka, beautiful to learn also, beautiful to implement also. What does he say? How did Ambarish Maharaj use all his senses, all his sense organs, okay, in the service of Lord Sri Krishna? So Maharaj Ambarish always engaged his mind, first of all mind, in meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna. His words in describing the glories of the Lord. What we should speak, whatever is glorifying the Lord, only that. No talks, prajalpa, not to be done. Only glorification of the Lord. His hands in cleansing the Lord's temple. His ears in hearing the words spoken by Krishna or about Krishna. He engaged his eyes in seeing the deity of Krishna, Krishna's temples, Krishna's places like Mathura and Vrindavan. He engaged his sense of touch in touching the bodies of the Lord's devotees. That means das, das, anudas. Okay, serving the devotees. Okay. he engaged his sense of smell in smelling the fragrance of tulasi offered to the Lord, and he engaged his tongue in tasting the Lord's prasad. He engaged his legs in walking to the holy places and temples of the Lord, his head in bowing down before the Lord, and all his desires, even desire also. Okay, what was his ultimate desire? Serving the Lord 24 hours a day. Indeed, Maharaj Ambarish never desired anything for his own sense gratification. This is very important. He engaged all his senses in devotional service, in various engagements related to the Lord. This is the way to increase attachment for the Lord and be completely free from all material desires. So when we know what is our ultimate goal of life, and when we know what the previous munis, yogis were performing, the devotees of the Lord were doing, to follow in their footsteps means ultimately to follow what Ambarish Maharaj is doing. We should also engage all our senses in the service of the Lord 24 hours a day. Okay, with this, I would like to wind up today's class. Thank you very much for patient hearing. If there are any questions, suggestions, please, we are open for 5 minutes more. Thank you, Sindhu Mataji. So if there are no questions, can we stop?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah?
Very
Mataji?
interesting.
Mataji.
Yeah. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, please.
One second, Mataji. Mataji, in this session, around we were 26, 27 participants were there.
Mm-hmm.
Only 3-4 members used to recite slokas and read this. My humble request with all other devotees,
yes.
Please let them be come with us. So I myself taking vow. I won't read and recite sloka from tomorrow onwards. Till all they were come and forward to recite sloka and read. This is my request, please. This is an opportunity given by ICF for us to involve to in this devotional service. If you don't mind, please, all my senior devotees, please, I request, please, and please, you please participate in reading and reciting slokas. This is my humble request for all devotees, please.
So it's
Hare
very
Krishna.
nice, Prabhuji. Thank you for bringing up this point. So I know Krishnamurti Prabhuji is very particular and likes to recite multiple times. He in our CC classes, because we used to we read so many shlokas, so he always raises his hand. But here I think he's very cautiously raised his hand only once. Why? To give chance to the others, so that everybody can participate. Because same people, if they are reciting, the others will not get the chance. So we should also take care, appreciate that he's so excited to read and recite, but still he's controlling his senses in this part to give a better chance to other devotees. So yes, I request all the devotees from the next session, please try to be more interactive. I always tell this in my classes whenever this topic comes up, that why should we chant? Not only Krishna Mahamantra, I'm telling any shloka or reading or translation, purport, word to word meaning, anything, whatever opportunity we are getting, why should we chant? Why should we recite? First thing is because for our purification. Because when we read, we also get purified. Second things, that faith, that love for Krishna increases by some percentage when we recite. That is why. Yeah. Third thing, there are so many jivas around us, everywhere around us, in our home also. There are some ants, there might be some cockroaches, some mosquitoes flying, cobwebs are there, some spiders are there, some invisible insects also. You may have a pet in your house, that person also, every jiva who is around you. When you speak through your mouth about the Krishna Katha, glories of the Lord, instructions of the Lord, anything related to the Lord, they get agyata sukruti. They get some purification. So that will make them come out of that life. They pass away that life very easily and they will be upgraded. Unka upgradation ho jayega. 2 से 2.1, 2.1 से 2.2. So from this uni, they will be slowly going into some other unus who will, and ultimately someday they will reach to the human form of life. Why? Because only because of hearing Krishna Katha. So that is why we should all take the opportunity to speak it aloud when these classes are going on. Even if you're not getting a chance, like only one shloka you are reading, the rest of the shlokas you are not reading, that time you can mute yourself, but chant the shloka loudly in your home. Right? One person is chanting with mic on, others can keep their mics off, but still chant those shlokas aloud, so that everybody around you is benefited. Even your family members, many times family members are so engrossed in their usual work, they don't pay attention to what you are listening to. Many times we are putting headphones, right? So in any of what I am speaking or some other speaker is speaking, they can't hear it. But in such circumstance, what you are speaking, what you are reciting, they can easily hear, and they all get Agyat. Yeah, Prabhuji is saying, I do that, Mataji. I mute and chant and also read. But please, Prabhuji, someday come and give your association to all of us by reading it aloud in the class also. So next time, please do recite at least one shloka or one translation for us. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Mataji is Girdhar Prabhuji is an active little bit.
Good.
Nothing. He's an old student.
I come very
But
rarely to the classes, so I don't
Mataji,
know
you
much.
please say this Shanmuga Priya.
Yeah.
And then
They'll come up, Prabhuji. Now we know why they should be.
Sudha, and then Ashok, Praja Priyadarshini, Vijay Surendra, Aditi Rai. They are all participants. This only my intention is let them be in the part of this association.
So if they voluntarily come up, we cannot force anybody to speak, but at least they should come up voluntarily someday, and at least once in that 4 days of our classes, they can
Silent listeners, Mataji.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnav vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Upasthit Gaura Bhakta vrinda ki jai. Thank you so much for joining.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.